Hey guys, my name is Laura Gutierrez and today I will be talking about the sport dirt bike riding. And in today's episode of Dirt Bike Background, I will cover the origin and history behind dirt bike riding and the different competitions that there is in this sport, along with the creator and a little bit of his background. And I will also talk about the different people who became famous in the sport and what great accomplishments they've overcome to be known as professionals in this sport. And last but not least, I will discuss about my interest in the sport developing at such a young age and who influenced me as well. Gottlieb Daimler is known to be the first true creator of a motorcycle. He lived in Germany and he was a well-known engineer, and he was known for also creating the four-wheeled automobile. And in August 30th, 1885, he was known to be the first person to create the wooden motorcycle with a gas engine. And in August 30th, 1885, he was known to be the first person to create the wooden motorcycle with a gas engine. And this is how his invention of the wooden motorcycle looked like. As you can see, it's very old-fashioned, and all he added to it was a gas engine, and then he removed the foot pedals, so it wasn't just an ordinary bike, but it was something that was new and improved, and it was now up and running with a one-cylinder autocycle engine. However, Soichiro Honda, this guy right here, was known for making dirt bikes applied to motocross racing in the late 1950s and making it a more mainstream vehicle. And in the spring of 1906, Motocross Evolution started. So an autocycle club created trails for those who rode motorcycles, and this later created competition for those who rode, and they wanted to see who rode the fastest on the trails. And then later this created what was known as scrambles, along with fastest on the track. And so these two became two well-known different types of competitions that were made along with a group that rode dirt bikes. So then in 1924, Great Britain held an official scramble, and this was an event that led a lot of people to get together and race. And so then scramble then changed to what we know now as motocross. It was really the first race that they've ever had, and they made it huge, and so this is what sparked up the sport of motocross. So then in 1962, a new engine was developed, and this created a new division for those who rode motorcycles, and it was all due to the new and improved 250cc engine. So then this engine made motorcycles run faster, and it also made the motorcycles weigh a little bit less than they used to before because they were a lot more heavier. Now, two-stroke engines were being created, and this caused motocross to have longer races with much faster motorcycles. Later, the Japanese company Suzuki started creating dirt bikes in the late 1960s. And then, of course, other dirt bike brands started to spark up, such as Yamaha, Honda, and KTM. It's known that the first stadium that held a motocross race was at the Los Angeles Coliseum in 1972. And these are a couple of pictures that were taken on that same day. So now that I've covered up on the evolution of dirt bike riding, I will now discuss the different types of competitions that were created amongst those who started dirt bike riding and what they are and what they consist of. There's four main types of competitions, and that is Supercross, Big Air, Freestyle, and Supermoto. Supercross consists in taking place on artificial dirt tracks that have steep jumps and obstacles as the racers navigate and competing. They also have shorter straights with tighter turns, along with being held at sports arenas. Freestyle perform two different routines that are held up to around 90 seconds to 15 minutes. Here they have judges evaluating their best tricks and their longest air. Some of the best freestyle tricks are the backflip, coffin, Superman, heart attack, and the cliffhanger. Big Air consists of having contestants to have two jumps that can reach extreme heights up to 75 feet tall. Big Air also has judges evaluating them based on the run and style and can be scored out of 100. Finally, last but not least, Supermoto. Supermoto involves contestants to take motorcycle built for dirt along with putting raw tires on it. Some well-known famous people who ride and have won championships is Travis Pastrana, Jessica Patterson, James Stewart, Ricky Carmichael, Ryan Dungey, and Ryan Villapoto. Travis Pastrana at 4 years old was already riding a one-speed motorcycle, and when he turned 14 years old, he was captured as the World Freestyle Championship. He had earned 17 X Game medals, 11 gold medals, and 5 gold medals from Gravity Games. Jessica Patterson won 7 women's motocross national championships. James Stewart has record-breaking 11 American Motorcyclist Association national titles, and was the second person in history to complete a perfect motocross season with 24 wins in 24 races after returning from a knee surgery. So off to my last topic of discussion, I will start to talk about my interest in the sport and how it developed. So my dad comes from this city in Mexico named Guadalajara, and here he grew up with the surrounding of motorcycles. So every year we go and there's people all over just in motorcycles. You don't really see a lot of people in cars or vehicles. Everyone is literally in their dirt bikes and they're just riding around. And this is how he got into it, and this is also how his family got into it as well. So then my dad and all his brothers learned how to ride bikes, and then they all started buying their own. And then how I started learning was when it was Christmas. I think I was 3. My dad bought me and all my siblings this like toy motorcycle that had batteries, and we would go on it all day long and we never wanted to get off, and it was so much fun. We found it very entertaining. And so he bought this then actually 3 years later when I turned 6, it was Christmas, and my dad bought me and all my sisters a Honda 70, and we started going dirt bike riding with all my family members, and we would all get together from my dad's side of the family. And we started going camping, and we would like camp out for 2 or 3 days, and all we would do is just talk and dirt bike and just have a good time. And so when we first went, my dad had actually taught me how to ride the two-wheeler. I first learned on a two-wheeler, and he was always by my side, you know, telling me how much gas I needed to go or push it. And I did fall a couple of times, but I kept going on and I kept trying until I finally got it right. And I remember my dad pushing me and telling me, you know, you got this, you can just get up again and try and keep doing it until you get it right. And I would be like exhausted and feel like so devastated because I kept falling. But then I finally got used to it and I got the hang of it, and I started riding it on my own, and that's how I learned to ride a two-wheeler. And then later I learned how to ride a quad, and it was way easier for me because I didn't have to balance myself, unlike the two-wheeler where I had to find my balance and catch it. And with the quad, it's just 4 wheels, so it was just easy. All I had to do was push on the gas, and it was automatic, so it was really easy, and I found it a little bit more funner. But then I started getting back to the two-wheeler because now I'm older and it's much more better for me to ride than a quad because of the places I go on dirt bike. A two-wheeler comes in handy way more than a quad. And here I have a short video of my dirt bike experience with friends and family. And I would just like to say that dirt bike riding is more than just a hobby to me. It has taught me resilience, that not all things are easy, but it takes a lot of time, effort, and a positive mindset to get through the things that you once thought was impossible, and to get up and keep on trying. It also taught me to be fearless at times, and that sometimes we need to overcome our fears so that we can see what's on the other side, and see that overcoming obstacles is one of the greatest feelings one can admire. If you guys have any comments or video recommendations, comment below to let me know.